You are being controlled, not by force, not by chains, not by violence, by attention. The person who controls where attention flows controls the room, the relationship, and ultimately, the outcome. And you have been giving yours away for free. Every time you explain yourself when no explanation is required. Every time you respond instantly just to prove you care. Every time you fill a silence because it makes you uncomfortable. Every time you chase someone who has already pulled away. You surrender power. This is not about charisma. This is not about confidence. This is not about being liked. This is about understanding a principle so fundamental to human psychology that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Attention is currency. And like all currency, its value is determined by scarcity. When you are always available, always responsive, always eager to engage, you become cheap. Not because you lack worth, but because human beings are wired to assign value based on difficulty of access. Machiavelli understood this 5 centuries ago. He watched princes rise and fall. He observed courtiers gain influence while more talented men were ignored. He realized that power was not granted to the virtuous or the competent. It was granted to those who understood how to manipulate perception. And the most devastating tool in that arsenal was not aggression, not eloquence, not even intelligence. It was withdrawal, the calculated, strategic, deliberate removal of attention at precisely the right moment to destabilize, to compel, and to control. You have been taught that constant engagement is strength, that communication equals trust, that availability is generosity. You were taught wrong, because the people who taught you wanted you weak. They wanted you predictable. They wanted you explaining, justifying, seeking approval. They wanted you visible so you could be managed. This script dismantles that conditioning. By the end, you will see human interaction for what it truly is, a field of leverage, perception, and strategic silence. And once you see it, you will not return to innocence. Let us begin. Niccolò Machiavelli did not write The Prince to inspire leaders. He wrote it to expose them, to reveal that power is not a moral enterprise, it is a structural one. In chapter 17, he confronts a question that makes weak men uncomfortable. Is it better to be loved or feared? His answer is clinical. Men love at their own free will, but fear at the will of the prince. The translation is simple. You cannot control whether someone loves you, but you can control whether they fear losing access to you. And that fear uncertainty, not violence, is the foundation of psychological control. But fear, in this context, is not terror. It is not brutality. It is something far more subtle. It is the fear of irrelevance. The fear that you will withdraw your attention, your presence, your validation, and leave them in silence. That fear makes people compliant. It makes them attentive. It makes them chase, and chasing is submission. Machiavelli observed the courts of Renaissance Italy closely. He saw men who spoke too much lose influence. He saw those who withheld information gain it. He noticed that the prince who explained his decisions appeared weak, while the prince who acted without justification appeared inevitable. Explanation is the language of the powerless. Silence is the language of kings. Now apply this to your own life. Every text message you send that goes unanswered teaches the other person that your attention is abundant, that it requires no effort to obtain, that it carries no consequence to ignore. Every time you break the silence first, after a conflict, you signal that you need resolution more than they do. Every time you over-explain your choices, you invite judgment. You place your authority on trial in the court of someone else's opinion. Machiavelli would look at modern social behavior and see a population trained to beg for validation, trained to fear silence, trained to chase, and those who chase can never lead. The principle is simple. Whoever needs the interaction less controls the interaction. Not the smarter person, not the richer one, not even the one who is right. The one who can endure the absence of attention without flinching holds the power. This is not theory. This is structure. Let me introduce you to someone. His name is not important. What matters is that he represents a pattern you have seen before. Intelligent, capable, well-meaning, and completely powerless. He walks into every room already explaining himself, justifying his presence, offering value before anyone has asked for it. At work, he volunteers information to appear transparent. He answers emails within minutes to seem diligent. He stays late to prove commitment, and he is ignored. In relationships, he texts first. He makes the plans. He fills every silence with reassurance. He apologizes before conflict even begins. And he is taken for granted. In social settings, he laughs at jokes that are not funny. He agrees with opinions he doesn't share. He mirrors the energy of the room to avoid standing out. And he is forgotten. Why? Because he made himself too available. He gave his attention freely, asking for nothing in return. He became predictable. And predictability is the death of influence. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." This man deceived himself with a comforting lie that goodness would be rewarded, that effort would be recognized, that availability would be valued. None of this is true. Goodness without leverage is exploited. Effort without boundaries is expected. Availability without scarcity is dismissed. Now watch what happens when he changes a single variable. He stops responding immediately. He stops explaining his decisions. He stops initiating. Suddenly, people notice. Suddenly, they ask questions. Suddenly, they pursue. He did not become more intelligent. He did not become more successful. He did not become more attractive. He simply became scarce. And scarcity creates value. This is not manipulation. It is mathematics. Human psychology operates on supply and demand. When you are always in supply, demand collapses. Withdrawal and demand rises. Chapter 1. The illusion that honesty is strength. You have been told that honesty is the foundation of trust. That transparency builds connection. That revealing your thoughts, intentions, and vulnerabilities makes you strong. This is a lie designed to keep you controllable. Honesty is not strength. Honesty is exposure. Every time you reveal your true position, you hand others the information they need to outmaneuver you. Machiavelli understood this. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Control the appearance. Guard the reality. When you expose your weaknesses, people exploit them. When you reveal your goals, people obstruct them. When you display your feelings, people weaponize them. Strategic silence is not dishonesty. It is protection. You do not owe anyone access to your internal state. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your choices. You do not owe anyone transparency. Consider two men competing for the same promotion. The first announces his ambitions, explains his qualifications, and shares his strategy. The second says nothing. Who wins? The second. Because while the first telegraphed every move, the second moved in silence. The first invited resistance. The second avoided it. Honesty in the wrong context is self-sabotage, and wherever power is contested is the wrong context. Which means, everywhere, you do not need to lie. You simply need to stop volunteering information, stop explaining, stop defending, stop revealing your position before you secure advantage. Silence is not evasion. Silence is sovereignty. Chapter 2. The illusion that loyalty is protection. You believe loyalty is reciprocal. That if you stand by others, they will stand by you. That if you invest in people, they will invest in you. This is false. Loyalty is not emotional. It is strategic. People are loyal only while you serve their interests. The moment you stop, your loyalty becomes irrelevant. Machiavelli wrote, "Friendships obtained by payments may be earned, but they are not secured. and in time of need cannot be relied upon. Replace payments with attention, and the principle holds. If your value is based on availability, sacrifice, and constant support, you are not respected. You are used. Imagine this. You are always there for a friend, listening, helping, prioritizing them. One day, you need them. They are unavailable, not because they are cruel, because you trained them to assume you would always be there. They do not fear losing you, so they do not prioritize you. Scarcity creates fear. Fear creates respect. You do not build loyalty by giving endlessly. You build loyalty by creating the possibility of loss. When people can lose access to you, they become careful. When they know you will never leave, they become careless. Withdraw strategically and loyalty appears. Chapter 3. The illusion that popularity is power. You have been conditioned to believe that being liked equals influence. It does not. Popularity is performance. Power is position. Machiavelli observed that princes who tried to please everyone were overthrown by anyone. It is much safer to be feared than loved when one of the two must be lacking, because love is fickle. Fear is consistent. Love demands maintenance. Fear demands distance. When you try to be liked, you become agreeable. When you become agreeable, you lose boundaries. Without boundaries, you lose respect. In every group, there is someone everyone likes and someone everyone respects. The friendly one is pleasant. The distant one is powerful. Who holds influence? The one who does not need approval. Popularity says, "Please accept me." Power says, "Access is limited." When you withdraw from the crowd, you stop performing. And in that withdrawal, you become magnetic. Popularity fades. Respect endures. Choose accordingly. Chapter 4. The illusion that transparency builds trust. Modern culture worships transparency. Share everything. Explain everything. Be vulnerable. This is poison. Transparency does not build trust. It builds familiarity. And familiarity breeds contempt. Machiavelli understood that mystery preserves authority. Men judge more by their eyes than by their hands. All can see, but few can feel. People trust perception, not reality. When you reveal everything, you become predictable. When you are predictable, you become ordinary. And ordinary people are not powerful. Consider two leaders. One explains every decision and invites constant input. The other acts decisively and delivers results. Who is trusted? The second, because trust comes from consistency and outcome, not explanation. Explain too much and you invite doubt. Act with certainty and you project confidence. Certainty attracts. Doubt repels. Stop oversharing. Stop justifying. Let results speak. Let silence amplify them. Chapter 5. The illusion that morality is safety. You were taught that goodness protects you, that doing the right thing guarantees reward. It does not. Morality is often a system that keeps populations manageable. It protects those already in power, not those seeking it. Machiavelli was explicit. A prince must learn how not to be good and use this knowledge according to necessity. This is not cruelty. It is pragmatism. Rigid morality is a liability when others play without rules. When you withdraw attention, you will be called cold, manipulative, selfish. These are not accusations. They are projections. Do not defend yourself. Defense implies guilt. Remain silent. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Your power is. Morality without strategy is weakness. Strategy without morality is dominance. Choose wisely. Chapter 6. Strategic silence as psychological leverage. Silence is not the absence of communication. It is the most powerful form of it. When you speak, you give information. When you remain silent, others reveal themselves trying to fill the void. The person who explains can be argued with. The person who defends can be attacked. The person who engages can be manipulated. The silent one cannot. Silence is immunity. Someone criticizes, you say nothing. Someone demands explanation, offer none. Someone provokes, you remain still. They grow uncomfortable. They escalate. They lose composure. You keep yours. Silence shifts the burden of resolution onto them. And whoever carries the burden loses control. Use it deliberately. Chapter 7. Reputation over explanation. Reputation is not built by what you say. It is built by what you consistently do. Words are tools. Reputation is currency. Constant explanation weakens authority. It signals insecurity. Action without explanation signals certainty. You owe no one an explanation for your absence, for your choices, for your reasoning. Patterns build reputation. Defense destroys it. Stop explaining. Start acting. Let your absence teach what your words never could. Power escalation minus 40 minutes and 0 seconds to 48 minutes and 0 seconds. Now the principles compound. Small withdrawals create ripples. Sustained withdrawals create waves. Strategic withdrawals create storms. Stage 1. Initial withdrawal delay responses. Create small gaps of unavailability. Effect. People notice. Stage 2. Sustained pattern set boundaries. Become selective. Protect your time. Effect. People respect you. Stage 3. Strategic deployment. Reward respect with presence. Punish disrespect with absence. Effect. Behavior changes. Stage 4. Structural dominance. Your presence becomes rare. Your attention becomes valuable. Your absence becomes meaningful. Effect. Power no longer needs to be asserted. It is assumed. This is not theory. It is structure. Attention is the resource. Scarcity is the mechanism. Control is the outcome. You are not cruel. You are strategic. You are not distant. You are deliberate. You are not cold. You are sovereign. And sovereignty cannot coexist with constant availability. Choose one. If you are still watching, something has shifted. You can feel it. The way you once understood relationships, conversations, and obligations is beginning to fracture. You cannot go back, because now you see the pattern. You see how people manipulate through expectation, how they control through guilt, how they bind you with the illusion of reciprocity. You were taught that being a good person meant being available, responsive, accommodating, always present. You were taught wrong, and now you must grieve the version of yourself who believed those lies. That version is gone, killed not by cruelty, but by clarity. You cannot unknow this. You cannot unsee the mechanics of social control. You cannot return to the naive belief that goodness is rewarded, that loyalty is reciprocated, that honesty is strength. Those illusions are finished. What remains is a choice. Do you continue playing by rules designed to keep you weak? Or do you rewrite them? Do you keep giving your attention freely to those who do not value it? Or do you withdraw it, strategically offering it only where it is earned? This is not a moral question. It is a structural one. You are standing at a threshold. Behind you, comfort, approval, familiarity. Ahead, power, autonomy, respect. You cannot have both. Choose. You chose to continue. That tells me everything I need to know. You are no longer trying to be liked. You are trying to be respected. You are no longer explaining yourself. You are asserting yourself. You are no longer seeking connection through constant availability. You are seeking control through scarcity. Welcome. This is not a refuge for the weak. This is not a space for those who need reassurance. This is for those who understand a simple truth. Power is not given. It is taken, not through force, but through positioning. You now see what most people never notice. Every interaction is a negotiation of leverage. Every conversation is a contest of frame control. Every relationship operates on supply and demand. You are no longer the supply. You are the demand. And demand does not beg, does not explain, does not chase. Demand simply exists. And scarcity makes it valuable. You will be called cold, detached, manipulative. Understand what those words really mean. They are compliments disguised as insults. Admissions that you are no longer easy to control. Accept them. Do not defend yourself. Do not justify yourself. Do not explain yourself. Withdraw further, and watch how quickly the same people return, seeking what they once took for granted. This is your new reality. You do not exist to serve the emotional needs of others. You exist to build your position. People will align with you, or they will fall away. Either way, you remain unmoved. This is sovereignty. If you've made it this far, you are not here by accident. You're here because something in this framework resonated with you, something you've always felt but could never articulate. A quiet recognition that the world runs on rules you were never taught, that power is real, that leverage is real, that perception often matters more than truth. You are not looking for motivation. You are looking for structure. And structure is what this channel provides. If you want to continue learning the principles others will never teach you, subscribe, not as support, as alignment. By subscribing, you're making a declaration. You are no longer a passive participant in your own life. You understand that power is not evil. It is inevitable, and you would rather wield it than be ruled by it. Leave a comment, not a question, but a commitment. Name one area of your life where you will begin withdrawing attention strategically. One relationship, one dynamic, one pattern. State it clearly. Make it real. Because once you speak it, retreat becomes harder. And retreat is no longer an option. Let me leave you with this. Machiavelli died in 1527. His work was banned by the church, condemned as immoral, burned in public squares. Why? Because it told the truth. It revealed that power is not distributed through virtue. It is seized through strategy. It exposed the mechanics of control that those in authority wanted hidden. And it placed that knowledge into the hands of anyone willing to read. Now, that knowledge is yours. Not abstract, practical. You understand that attention is currency. That scarcity creates value. That silence is power. That withdrawal is control. The only question left is this: will you use it? Or will you retreat to the comfort of being liked, being available, being predictable? Most people will retreat. They will tell themselves this knowledge is dangerous, that it makes them cold, that it separates them from others. They're right. It does. And that separation is exactly what creates space for power. You cannot lead from inside the crowd. You cannot command while constantly available. You cannot be sovereign while seeking approval. So step back, withdraw. Watch how the world rearranges itself around your absence. And when it does, don't rush back in. Stay there, in the silence, in the scarcity, in the power. Because once you understand this, you are no longer the same. You cannot unknow it. You cannot unsee it. You cannot return. And that is exactly as it should be.